Hello students, welcome to the online session of database management system. In last session we have studied about entity relationship diagram which we draw to represent logical or conceptual structure of database system before actual or physical implementation. In today's session we are going to study about enhanced entity relationship model or enhanced entity relationship diagram, then specialization and generalization concepts in enhanced entity relationship model, and aggregation in EER model. So these are the contents of today's session. Learning outcomes of today's session are: after learning this session, students will be able to describe the specialization and generalization concepts in EER model, and students will be able to draw EER diagram for database management system. Okay, so first we'll see what is enhanced entity relationship model. Enhanced entity relationship model is a high level data model which is used to represent logical or conceptual structure of database system, just like entity relationship model, but it is an extension of ER model. Okay, as the complexity of data is increasing, it becomes difficult to model database system using traditional ER model. See, when we want to display some complex relationships or some unusual relationships between different entities or among different entities, then it is not possible by using traditional entity relationship model. To reflect or to represent the complex relationship, we need some advanced type of feature which are included in enhanced entity relationship model. It is an extension of ER model. That's why it is also called as extended entity relationship model. Okay, so to reduce the complexity in data modeling, some improvements were done to ER model for better database implementation. And whatever improvements done in ER model, the resulting model is enhanced entity relationship model. Okay, it reflects relationship and constraints more precisely. Okay, as I already told you, it is used to show complex relationship, and the constraint that we cannot specify by using ER model, those can be specified by using enhanced entity relationship model. Okay, ER is mainly used to display the relationship concepts like superclass and subclass, specialization and generalization, and aggregation. Okay, see, superclass, subclass, that is parent child relationship, specialization of entities, generalization of entities, or aggregation of entities and relationships. These things cannot be displayed by using entity relationship model, but with some improvements in ER model, these things can be displayed, or these concepts, these relationships can be displayed by using enhanced entity relationship model. Okay, so first we'll see what is superclass and subclass. So superclass is what? It is an entity set from which many sub-entity sets can be created. Okay, so it is also known as parent class or base class. Okay, so the parent class from which we can create sub-entities or subclasses is called as a superclass. And subclass is what? It is an entity set which is derived from the superclass. Okay, so this subclass inherits the properties of superclass, and it is also has its own additional attribute. Okay, so this is simple a parent child relationship that we have studied in inheritance concept. Okay, see, here we have one superclass which is a parent class, and that superclass is divided into sub entities or subclass, and that sub entity is called as a subclass, which is a child class. So this subclass or child class inherits some property from superclass or parent class, and this subclass is also having its own additional attribute or its own additional properties. Okay, now let's see example for superclasses and subclasses. Here we have one computer superclass. Okay, so it has some attribute like the type of computer, the speed, memory, the size of computer, color. Okay, so the brand, price, so these are the common attributes of any of the computer, and so this is a superclass. Now we can divide this computer superclass into two classes, desktop computer and laptop computer. Okay, so now desktop and laptop, these are the subclasses of superclass computer. Okay, means they are the type of entity computer. They desktop and laptop types of entities share some common attribute from computer superclass. Okay, means both are having size, color, brand or price. These are the common properties, and they are having some additional attribute, or they are having some different values for some attributes. That's why they are different from each other, desktop and laptop. Okay, so that's why computer is a superclass and desktop, laptop, these are the subclasses of that entity. And this superclass and subclass relationship is denoted by D, which is written in a circle. Okay, so this is superclass and subclass. Then we have another example, that is doctor. Doctor is a superclass which can be classified into different classes like cardiologist. Doctor can be a surgeon, doctor can be a physician or dentist. Okay, so here all of these subclasses, that is cardiologist, surgeon, physician, dentist, they are sharing some common attribute like doctor ID, doctor name, salary, and they are also having their own additional attribute like the skill, working hours. Okay, these can be different for each of the type. Okay, for this doctor. So this is superclass and subclass relationship. Then we have another type of concept here, or the importance of enhanced entity relationship diagram is generalization. Okay, so generalization is what? Here two or more lower level entities are combined together to form one higher level entity. Okay, means see, now we have just studied superclass and subclass. So superclass is what? It is a parent class, that's why it is also called as higher level entity. And subclasses which are inherited from superclass, so subclasses are called as lower level entities. Okay, so generalization means what? Generalization means to combine lower level entities and to form one higher level entities. Okay, means we combine subclasses together to form superclass. It is a bottom up approach because we are combining lower level entities and we are forming one higher level entities. That's why it is called as bottom up approach. Okay, and see, we just cannot combine only lower level entity. We can combine lower level entity with the higher level entity to form another higher level entity. Okay, so this is generalization, and these lower level entities are combined together on the basis of some common properties. Okay, while generalizing thing, or while creating higher level entity from lower level entity, we identify common properties among lower level entities, and then we combine those common properties together to form one higher level entity. Okay, now for example, see, account is, if account is an entity, then that account entity can be classified into savings account and current account. Okay, so if for the first time, if you look at this diagram, that is account is a saving account, account is a current account. Okay, so here it is used to represent a superclass and subclass relationship. Okay, here's account is a superclass and savings and current accounts, these are the subclasses. Okay, so here see, saving account is having account number and balance, current account is also having account number and balance. So these are the common properties between these two entities, or between these two subclasses. Okay, but here these two subclasses are having their own additional attribute apart from account number and balance. Saving account is having interest rate, that is whenever we open saving account, we get some interest interest amount on the balance that we have in our account. So interest rate is the additional attribute of saving account, and this interest rate attribute is not applicable to current account. Current account is mainly used for the business purpose, or to do frequent transaction. Current account is used, so transaction or the number of transaction is a additional attribute for current account. Okay, so on the basis of these two attribute we can differentiate savings account and current account. Okay, but both are sharing common attribute, that is account number and balance. So on the basis of this common attribute we can combine savings and current, these two subclasses, into one main class, that is account. Means saving and current, these two types of subclasses can be combined together to create one parent class, that is the account class. So this is called as generalization. We are generalizing the things, we are generalizing the entities on the basis of common attribute. Okay, means we are combining lower level entities to form one higher level entity. And here you can see the generalization is represented by triangle symbol among all the entities, and is A, that is account is a saving, account is a current, or it can be read as saving saving is a type of account entity and current is a type of account entity. Okay, so this is a symbol triangle, and is A is written in that triangle to show the generalization concept of enhanced entity relationship model. Okay, it is a bottom up approach. Now let's take another example. We have two subclasses or two lower level entities, that is depositor and borrower. Okay, see, depositor has attribute account number and balance. Means when we deposit some amount into the bank, it is related to bank database system. Okay, this diagram is related to bank management system. Okay, see, depositor is what? Depositor is a customer who have account in a bank, and borrower is who? Borrower is a customer who have loan in a bank. Okay, now see, both this depositor and borrower, both entities are related to bank, but they are having their own additional attribute. Like depositor is having account number and balance deposited in a bank, and borrower is having loan number and amount of loan. Okay, so on the basis of this attribute we can differentiate depositor and borrower. Okay, but both these entities are having common attribute, that is customer ID and customer name. So by considering this common attribute, we can say depositor and borrower are customers in a bank. Means we are combining depositor and borrower entities to form one higher level entity, that is customer. Okay, depositor is a customer and borrower is a customer. So this is called generalization. Generalization is the process of combining lower level entities, or it is a process of combining subclasses on the basis of some common attributes, some common properties, to form one superclass. Okay, by combining these lower level entity we can form one higher level entity. Okay, this is called generalization. Then next type is specialization. See, specialization process is opposite to generalization. In generalization, we combine lower level entities and we form one higher level entities. Whereas in specialization, we reverse the process. That is, we divide higher level entity into two or more lower level entities. That is, superclass is divided into number of subclasses. It is called as top down approach. Okay, because we divide higher level entity into lower level entities, that's why it is a top down approach. Okay, and the division is done on the basis of specialized properties in entity. See, while generalizing any entity, we find out the common properties, and when we want to specialize entity, we find out different properties. Okay, and then on the basis of those different properties we specialize the things. See, example is employee. Suppose employee is a higher level entity, then that employee can be a lecturer, that employee can be a peon, that employee can be a lab assistant, employee can be a librarian. Okay, so see, here employee ID, e-name and salary, these are the common attribute. Okay, but all of these entities, all of the subclasses mentioned over here, they are having their own additional attribute also. See, when employee is a lecturer, then lecturer is teaching some course. So course is an additional attribute for lecturer. But this course attribute is not applicable to peon. Course attribute is not applicable to lab assistants, or it is not applicable to librarian. So though this lecturer is having EID, e-name, salary, which is a common attribute, but it is also having one additional attribute, that is course. And by using that additional attribute, we can differentiate that employee from peon, lab assistant and librarian. Okay, that's why it is called as specialization. When we say employee is a peon, then peon is not teaching any course, peon is not handling any lab, or peon is not issuing book to the students. Okay, so peon is having another job type, peon is having another job nature, so that job type can be a additional attribute for peon. Okay, that's why it is a specialized type of entity. When we talk about lab assistant, the lab assistant is a person who manages lab. Lab assistant is not teaching any course, but lab assistant is having one lab which is assigned to her or which is assigned to him for the working. So lab assigned can be a additional attribute for lab assistant. So it is a specialized class. Okay. So this is how we can specialize things. So in specialization, we consider one higher level entity, then we form subclasses of those higher level entity on the basis of distinct attribute, on the basis of specialized properties. Okay. Let's take another example. Suppose furniture entity is there. So furniture entity has common attribute, that is department ID, means the department to which that furniture belongs. Then it has one common attribute, that is okay. So this furniture superclass can be divided into subclasses like table. Furniture is a table, furniture is a chair, furniture is a sofa set, furniture is a desk. So table, chair, sofa set, desk, these can be lower level entities which are specialized or which are divided from furniture superclass. Okay, so when we say furniture is a table, then table is having additional attribute, that is size. Then chair is having additional attribute, chair type. Okay, means the sofa set is having additional attribute, size and colors. Desk is having drawers. Okay, so these attributes are not applicable to each other, means this table, chair, sofa set, desk, these four subclasses are not sharing their own attribute, but they are sharing common attribute of furniture entity, that is department ID, means the table is belonging to any department, chair is of any department, and the type of furniture. Okay, so on the basis of distinct attribute, we are specializing furniture. So this is called as specialization. Okay, and it is denoted by the inverted triangle, and in that triangle is a word is written, that is furniture is a table, furniture is a chair, and so on. Okay, so this is specialization. Then next we have aggregation. Aggregation is what? Aggregation is used to represent relationship between relationship and entity. See, up till now we have seen relationship between two entities, three entities, or more than three entities. Okay, means how different entities are related to each other. But see, if we want to represent a relationship between one relationship and another entity, then in ER model, we don't have any technique to represent this kind of relationship. But here in extended ER model or in enhanced ER model, we have aggregation concept. Okay, so in aggregation concept, we consider two entities. Okay, and the relationship between two entities is treated as a single entity. For example, see here we have manufacturer and distributor. Okay, so we have these two entities, manufacturer and distributor. So manufacturer and distributor both are related to each other, or both are sharing a common relationship, that is work together. Okay, now we have combined manufacturer and distributor relationship, that is work together, into one entity, and this relationship is having relationship with another entity, that is product. that is manufacturer and distributor work together to distribute any product. So this is called as aggregation. Here manufacturer is having its own attribute, distributor is having its own attribute, and both are sharing one relationship, that is work together. Okay. Then we have third entity, that is product. Product is having its own attribute, and this product is related to manufacturer, product is also related to distributor. Okay, but these two are sharing one common relationship, that is manufacturer and distributor work together, and they manufacturer create one product, manufacturer manufacture any product, and that product is distributed by any distributor. Okay, means this product is related to both the entities. That's why instead of forming relationship among manufacturer and product, and instead of forming separate relationship between product and distributor, we combine manufacturer and distributor into one relationship, and then we combine that relationship with product. Okay, that's why it is called as aggregation. Here product is one entity and manufacturer distributor combinedly relationship is another entity. Means by using aggregation we can show relationship among relationship. Okay, so this is aggregation. Let's take another example. Suppose we have three entities, student, branch and subject. Now see, student is enrolled in a branch and student is enrolled for the subject. Means student is having relationship with branch and subject with both the entities. Okay, similarly if we consider branch entity, so branch has students. Okay, branch has students enrolled in that particular branch, and branch has some subject, means branch is also having relationship between student and subject. So instead of representing separate relationship between student and subject, separate relationship between branch and subject, we can combine relationships. See here, student and branch has relationship enrolled for, student enrolled for branch. Okay, we have combined this relationship into one entity, and then we have given another relationship that is has subject. So here subject is a separate entity and student enrolled for branch, this is a separate entity. Okay, so here two entities we have got, that is student enrolled for branch, this is one entity. Though it is a relationship, we have combined this relationship to form one entity, and then subject is another entity, and between these two entities we have relationship has. Okay, so this is aggregation. In simple relationship we show or we represent relationships among different entities. Okay, we show relationship in two entities, three entities, four entities, or more than four entities. But in aggregation we mainly show or we mainly represent relationship among one relationship and one entity. Okay, so this is aggregation. So here we don't only show relationship, but we can also show aggregation and specialization together, like this. See here, employee works for company, this is a relationship. Okay, so we have formed one entity for this, that is employee works for company. Okay, so this is one entity, and employee can be specialized. Employee can be a manager, employee can be a tester, employee can be a developer. So this is also called as aggregation. Aggregation with the help of specialization. Okay, so this is the concept of aggregation. So here we have two entities sharing one common relationship, and out of these two entities one entity is specialized into subclasses. Okay, so this is aggregation and specialization. Now let's see how can we represent aggregation or specialization into extended ER diagram. Now in a simple or in traditional ER diagram we have already studied hospital management system. Okay, Now let's see extended ER diagram for hospital management system. Now here for hospital management system we can have number of entities, but here I have taken only two entities, that is doctor and patient. Okay, doctor treats patient or patient is treated by some doctor. Okay, see here if you can see one to many relationship is there, that is one doctor can treat many patient and many patient can be treated by one doctor. Okay, and then doctor is having partial participation into the relationship, that's why connecting single connecting link is there. And at the patient side if you carefully see, two connecting links are there because patient entity is having total participation. Okay, see partial participation means not all doctors are participating in a relationship, and total participation means all patients are participating in a relationship. Okay, see not all doctor are treating a patient, okay, but all patients are treated by doctor, that's why it is a total participation from patient side but partial participation from doctor side. Okay, see here doctor has attribute salary, doctor ID, doctor name and specialization. And patient has attribute patient ID, patient name, disease, address and admit date. Here if you look at the doctor entity, then it can be specialized into visiting doctor, permanent doctor and interns or trainee doctors. Okay, see doctor can be a visiting doctor, it can be a permanent doctor of that hospital, or doctor can be a intern, or doctor can be a trainee working in that hospital. So it is a specialization in extended or enhanced ER diagram. You can either show doctor as a one entity, or you can show specialization by using this type of diagram. This is called as enhanced ER diagram. Now let's see enhanced ER diagram for bank management system. Okay, see here I have taken only two entities, customer entity is there and account entity is there. So customer entity is having attribute customer ID, customer name, date of birth, phone and age. Okay, see here phone is a multi-valued attribute, age is a derived attribute, and customer ID is a primary key. Okay, similarly we have another entity that is account. Account has one attribute, that is account number, which is a primary key, and one to many relationship is there. So customer and account both entities are sharing one relationship, that is has. Customer has account. Now customer entity can be specialized in two entities. It can be divided into two entities, depositor and borrower. See, depositor and borrower both are the customers of a bank because they are sharing common attribute like customer ID, customer name, phone and date of birth and age. These are the common attributes shared by both depositor and borrower. But they are also having their own additional attribute. Depositor is getting interest on saving account. Depositor is having saving account. And borrower is what? Borrower is a person who is having loan in a bank, who is a customer of bank but he is having a loan. So borrower is paying some installments for the loan. So installments is a additional attribute for borrower. Okay, see though depositor and borrower both are customers of bank, they share common attribute but also they are having their own additional attributes. That's why we have shown a specialized relationship here. Similarly, if you look at the account entity, then account is having account number. It is a common attribute, but it can be subdivided. It can be specialized into two types of entities. That is, account can be saving account, account can be a loan account. So when we talk about saving account, it has attribute balance. Okay. And when we talk about loan entity, then it has attribute loan amount. Okay, so this is a specialization for account entity. And saving and loan, these two subclasses, these two lower level entities are sharing one common attribute, that is account number. Account number for saving, account number for loan account. Okay, so this is how you can show specialization in enhanced entity relationship diagram. So this is all about today's session. In today's session, we have seen what is enhanced entity relationship diagram. It is an extension of traditional ER diagram, which is mainly used to specify superclass, subclass, specialization, generalization, and aggregation concepts, which are related to relationship. Specialization means one higher level entity is divided into lower level entity by finding out the different between entity, by finding out the different attribute or different properties between entities. Generalization means to combine lower level entities into higher level entities by finding out similarities between lower level entities. Okay, then aggregation means to represent relationship between entity and relationship. Okay, it is an association between entity and relationship, so that is aggregation. Okay, so this is all about today's session. Thank you.